So we are out here in London, England, United Kingdom. It's her birthday here in a few days, and we decided to celebrate by visiting a place that neither of us has been to. Now, you're gonna have to excuse me if I look or sound crazy throughout this video, because I'm personally operating on maybe 2.5 hours of sleep maximum. Basically, we got here by taking the bus and then the ferry, which was crazy in its own right. But now we're here in a completely different country, and I have to say I'm already noticing quite a few differences. I don't know about you, but throughout the day, basically we're going to state our observations as they arise. So the first thing that I've noticed since being out here is the prevalence of running. It seems like a lot of people here are into running as their form of exercise, which compared to the Netherlands and really everywhere else that I've been to is definitely a big difference. It could also be that there's just more people, therefore it seems like more people are running, but as a percentage of the population it's the same. But I don't know, I've seen at least 20 or 30 people just casually running, and it's not even 10 a.m. yet. And I don't know about you, but me personally, I'm not running before 1 p.m. So that's the first thing I've noticed. Also, just a little side note, London so far, just first impressions, reminds me a lot of Boston. So if you go back on my channel, I posted a video where I moved to the Netherlands, and on the way to the Netherlands I had a layover in Boston, a very brief layover. The vibe that I'm getting in London reminds me quite a bit of Boston, and I did enjoy Boston quite a bit. I'm curious to hear what you think, because obviously you have a different perspective than I have. You've seen a lot more of Europe than I have because you're from Europe. So what are your first impressions of London?
One of the first things I noticed was that there's like a lot of old buildings, but then at the same time it seems like there's a lot of like more modern buildings. And I feel like in a lot of places I've been to, it's kind of either more modern or just older buildings, and here it's like a mixture of those two.
I feel like the camera never does buildings like this justice. You can't really see the details. Yeah, I mean, you get the buses and everything, the famous double-decker buses. You have the London Eye back there. Honestly, I don't know what any of these buildings or monuments are, because I don't know anything about London. The only thing I know about London is what I saw in Top Boy. So that's my reference point that I'm working with. By the way, if you haven't watched that on Netflix, go ahead and check it out. It's a great show.
I feel like London gives the old money vibes.
Yeah, definitely just money in general. I could tell there's a lot more money out here, or at the very least people are more flashy with their money. But basically here's the situation we're in right now. So the way the trip is structured is that, like I said, we took the bus, then the ferry, and then the bus brought us from Dover, I think? Dover to London, which is where we are right now. And we basically have all of our luggage and everything, and we haven't brushed our teeth. We haven't really done anything that normal people do to start their day. With one of those things being skincare. And that brings me to Tiege Hanley, the sponsor of today's video. Tiege Hanley helps men start and maintain a skincare routine by simplifying the entire process. Honestly, it's the best skincare system for guys like you and me. I recommend that you start with their level 1 skincare system, which comes with all of the basics. A daily face wash to get rid of the dirt and grime on your skin. A 2 times per week exfoliating scrub to get rid of dead skin cells. An AM moisturizer with SPF 20, because you should always be protecting your skin from the sun. And a PM moisturizer to help your skin stay hydrated and healthy throughout the night. My favorite part about Tiege Hanley is that every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much of each product to use, and in what order to use each product. They really make the process of achieving and maintaining amazing skin easy. Their products have made my skin look and feel better than ever, but you don't just have to take my word for it, because they have over 7,000 5-star reviews on their website from satisfied customers from all around the globe. In addition to amazing skin,
Members of Tiege Hanley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off the retail price, the ability to customize your own box, exclusive monthly deals, the ability to pause or cancel at any time, and free US shipping. And here's the best part. This November, Tiege Hanley is offering their biggest deal of the year exclusively for first-time subscribers. This isn't just the usual discount, it's even better. For example, grab their Level 1 skincare system, retail priced at $45 for just $23 when you become a member. That's nearly half off the regular price, and it's a one-time deal that you won't see any other time this year. Plus, throughout November, customers can enjoy additional discounts on a wide range of face and body products, making it the perfect time to stock up or try something new. So don't wait. This is as good as it gets. Click the first link in the description or the pinned comment to lock in the best deal of the year and start your skincare journey today. Now, back to the video.
And so we're kind of just here, just existing. Those people almost just got clapped by that car. But I digress. We're kind of just out here trying to figure out what to do. We don't know where we're gonna eat. If you don't know, I'm vegan, so we have to find a place that offers vegan food. And at around 8 o'clock p.m., the bus driver, is going to pick us up and take us to the hotel. The hotel is the Aubrey Park Hotel, I believe. And it's in a pretty desolate area. So we have to figure out how we're going to get enough food for the night as well, and for breakfast tomorrow for me. So we have quite a few challenges ahead, but my plan is to document them as they come and as we overcome them. Oh yeah, also, I figured this probably went without saying, but I'm gonna just say it anyways. Another two things that have shocked me, or that I've observed at the very least, are, for one, the accents. I mean, that's a given. Being in the UK, the accents are very unique. I think what's jarring about that is that I can't really understand what people are saying. So for somebody who's spoken and listened to English for literally his entire life, you would think that even with a very different accent, I would be able to understand what people are saying, but I don't know what most of these people are talking about. And another thing that I've observed, of course, is the fact that they drive on the opposite side of the road, which was really, really strange to wake up to on the bus and just see that, oh, we're on the other side. But those are kind of generic culture shocks, if you will, because everybody knows about them. I more so want to talk about the things that people won't necessarily see or know about unless they actually come here. I'm trying to give you a trip for free 99. We paid 300 euros for this trip. You're getting it for free 99. So that's the motive, that's the intention. And yeah, we don't really have any actual concrete plans. We sort of just winged it. My motto is, we'll figure it out once we get there. We're here, now it's time to figure it out. Okay, so I don't know if you can see the police cars in the back, but I noticed that the sirens here are the same as they are in the US. Yeah, the way that the sirens here sound are the same way they sound in the US, which is of course different than they sound in the Netherlands and Spain, and I'd imagine every other country in at least the European Union. And I never knew how annoying the sound actually was until I heard it again after not hearing it for so long. It's actually mentally penetrating. But right now we're on the way to Whole Foods Market so that I can grab some breakfast. They have some sort of something going on back there, some sort of event. Looks like a political event. And as you should know by now, I am completely apolitical. I'm impartial. I just know I saw the word totalitarian on the presentation thing on the stage. So I don't know what they got going on. I don't know what's happening with that. I'm just glad we're walking in this direction and not that direction. We're gonna grab some food, and then after that we're gonna go to this bookstore. What's it called?
Waterstones.
Water what?
Waterstones.
Waterstones. Yeah, we're gonna go to this bookstore. We're probably gonna be in there for a cool 5 or 6 hours because that's how she operates. but it's her
It's supposed
birthday.
to be the biggest one in Europe.
It's the biggest bookstore in Europe?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna see if I can record some of that without getting us kicked out. All right, so this is what we ended up getting. You can see both of us got this little Mexican Chipotle burrito type deal going on. I've never had this before, so excited to see what this is all about. Honestly, I don't really care. I'm just really hungry. I also got these plant-based protein bars. Really good macros there, not a lot of sugar, quite a bit of protein, and this vegan chocolate milkshake, protein chocolate milkshake. How you feeling?
Tired and hungry. You good?
Yeah. No, this is eat.
And then the security guy was kind of,
I mean, we did look sketchy though.
yeah, I guess.
This is very European of us. We're just sitting here outside watching people. POV, you're me. Okay, I hope you can hear me because it seems like they have some sort of protest going on over there. But we're on the way to the bookstore, and something that I've noticed is the prevalence of security in and around buildings here. There seems to be a lot of in-house security for all of these little stores, and one could reasonably presume that this is just from living in a bigger city. In bigger cities, this is the norm. But, oh, hold on real quick. It's definitely some kind of protest going on over there. Again, I'm not a political person, but clearly they are. But I digress. There seems to be a lot of security here, and one could reasonably assume that this is just from living in a bigger city. But having been to LA and New York, LA various times, I've never seen this much security in one place. But we're about to go in this bookstore, and I want to capture her reaction because she is an absolute nerd. She's a nerd. I know I'm a nerd, but you're a nerd too. Okay, first impressions. Is this up there with Barnes & Noble?
Yeah,
Okay.
got a competitor.
Some competition. Alright, so I just got the best 20 minutes of sleep that I've ever got in my entire life inside that bookstore. It was nice, but I'm not gonna lie, I am ready to tap out, and it's only, what time is it? 1 p.m.? 1:44 p.m. and they're not picking us up until 8 p.m. so we still have a ways to go. But I noticed something about the bathrooms here. As a matter of fact, I noticed two things about the bathrooms. First one is that it seems like there is some aversion to privacy stalls between the urinals. Now mind you, I've only been in 2 bathrooms thus far, but in both bathrooms, one free and one paid, there were no privacy stalls between the urinals, which I find to be extremely uncomfortable, but it's not the end of the world. However, I noticed something else that I found really, really strange, and that's the way the sinks are made. So for whatever reason, there are 2 faucets in each sink, one for cold and one for hot. If you're from the UK, or if you're from a place that has faucets like that, I need you to explain to me how those are supposed to work. It was like in the women's restroom, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I need you to explain to me how those work, because to me that seems like a recipe for disaster. Because they definitely don't have those in the Netherlands from what I've seen. They don't have them in the US. Maybe it's in older places, but I don't know. I need you to explain to me how those are supposed to work. How do I use the hot side without getting burned? Because do you just switch back and forth?
I tried to use the hot one earlier, but there was no hot water coming out of it.
Oh, so it's just 2 taps with both cold
Or
water.
maybe I needed to wait more or something, but I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll figure it out at some point, but for now, we are going to this street with a bunch of designer clothing stores on it so that we can, in the words of my girlfriend, soak up the energy.
Yeah.
Neither of us are really into designer clothing,
No.
but I feel like in a place like London where,
Just have to see it.
yeah, where you have all of this wealth at your disposal, you have to take advantage of that.
To tap into it.
Exactly. You got to become materialistic for a day or two and just allow yourself to indulge in that. Me personally, I kind of made a vow to myself that I wouldn't buy designer anymore unless I'm just so rich that it doesn't even matter. But even then, I probably won't.
Yeah.
But who knows? All I know is that we're in London and this street looks very, very London-esque. And if you could smell the way that it smells through this camera right now, you would probably click off the
I didn't
video.
want to say anything, but
Yeah, it smells absolutely, what's the word?
disgusting.
No, not even just
Horrifying.
disgusting, just, it just
This-
smells diabolical.
Yeah.
But you can hear helicopters because there's a news helicopter up there, I guess covering whatever protest or rally they have going on over there. Like I said, I have no idea what's going on. I just saw the word totalitarian. But I guess we can go ahead and cross. There's no cars. Yeah, London is a cool vibe though. I like London thus far. I don't know what that is. What was that?
No.
Why did it sound like that? That's a very European thing, by the way. I don't think I ever mentioned that in any of my videos about the Netherlands, but in the Netherlands, at least in the town that we live in, every hour on the hour, does it do that all day or just at night?
No, not all day.
Well, at night at least, after midnight, every hour on the hour, the bell rings. Which I find to be kind of odd, because I'd imagine that probably wakes a lot of people up. But, I don't know, it's cool though. One thing about Europe is that the history is just palpable. You can feel the, how do I put this? The echoes of time past. Okay, so a couple more things that we've just noticed. First of all, for the amount of people that there are here, especially on foot, there are very few benches or places to sit in general. I don't know if that's just in the area that we've been in or if that's in London as a whole, but it seems like per capita there are very few places to sit, which is a bit inconvenient given that we're carrying all of our luggage for the entire day. But thankfully we found a little place outside of one of these designer stores. Hopefully they don't make us move or anything like that. But another thing that we noticed is that the taxis look completely different. The taxis here look like Monopoly cars or something. I don't know. I've never seen a car like that literally anywhere else. So that's different right there. And also on the topic of cars, I've definitely seen some very, very high-end cars that I haven't really seen since I left the US. Literally just today. Just now I saw what looked like a Rolls-Royce Ghost. That's a $400,000, $500,000 car. I saw a Lamborghini Aventador earlier, custom paint job. That's one thing that I really like about being in bigger cities, and that's something I was talking to Nadia about, is that I feel like when you're in a bigger city, you have infinite inspiration. Oh, see, there's another Rolls Royce right there. 2 Rolls Royces in 5 minutes. Crazy work. But I feel like when you're in a big city like this, there's always another level to get to. There's always somebody who's doing something that you don't know anything about. There's somebody who is doing stuff that you can't even comprehend from where you are. And that's something that living in a smaller town, I personally miss quite a bit. Granted, I didn't really get much of that back home in Texas either. I would have to kind of go out of my way to experience that. But being in places like LA, London, New York, I think that's why I tend to gravitate toward these types of cities in general, is because even though they can be a bit chaotic and stressful and fast-paced, it's all backed by intention. It's not like people are just running around just to run around. People are actually moving with a sense of purpose and everywhere seems like, everyone seems like they have somewhere to be. And I don't know, I'm big on environment being a big predictor of how you will curate your life. So if you surround yourself with people who are on their purpose, it's only a matter of time before you find and or develop your own sense of purpose and follow it with that same degree of ferocity, especially in a place where you literally have to survive because the cost of living is so high. So I don't know, that's just my personal take. Some people prefer different things, but I don't know, I definitely wouldn't mind living in a place like this, or LA. If you've been following me for the past few years, it's no secret that I love LA, or even New York, or Amsterdam, or just any big city like that, at least for a good decade or two, to just really, I don't know, to see what we're made of, if you will. But is there anything else that you've noticed?
I feel like it's kind of a maze here. Like the way everything is structured is kind of difficult to get around. And I've, interestingly enough, read about that in an article that this is one of the places that's like pretty hard to get around, and in like New York that it's much more, the city is much more organized in a way.
It's easier to navigate?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that this orientation leads to more stress, and the order leads to more like higher well-being. That's pretty interesting to me.
Yeah.
The way things are built just contribute to the well-being or not.
Also, something else that I noticed earlier, I forgot to mention this, but I didn't realize how ingrained certain Dutch sayings are into my psyche until I got to the UK border control, and I accidentally said dankjewel instead of thank you. And now I have to consciously remind myself to say thank you instead of dankjewel, because I've been saying dankjewel multiple times a day for 9 months. So I don't know, it's crazy to think that I could literally just program my mind to think in a different language. All right, so it is the next day. We're down to our last few hours here in London, and I made a few more observations yesterday that are worth noting. Now you see that we're in this little park area. I don't know what this park is called, but the first observation that I made was the wildlife / nature here in London. And what I mean by that is, well, yesterday we were walking back to the bus and we saw a fox. We saw a fox in the middle of London. I've never seen a fox in my entire life. The first time I see a fox is in London, and I'm not talking about, well, I guess it was a park, but the park was near the London Eye, to give you a point of reference. So we're not talking about some rural or suburban part of London. We're talking about the middle of the city. There's literally just a fox there. Wasn't expecting that at all. So I take that as an indication that maybe there's quite a bit more wildlife here than one would expect, being such a big city. The second observation that I made, unfortunately, is that the outlets are different here. The electrical outlets are different here than they are in the rest of Europe, I'm assuming. I don't know if every other European country is like that, but every other European country that I've been to has had the, what's it called? The 2-point outlets?
Yeah.
Something like that,
I don't
yeah.
know what the name is.
Yeah, the little outlets that look like this. And of course the American outlets are a lot different. So that was really unfortunate because we weren't able to charge any of our electronics at all last night. And then the last thing that I noticed was that London is actually very clean, at least for how big of a city it is. Now, I've been to New York once, and I've spent literal months in LA. London is much cleaner than both of them, just in terms of how much trash you see on the ground, and even the infrastructure. For it to be such an old city, the roads are pretty nice.
Yeah.
The buildings seem somewhat well maintained. Maybe some of the lawns are unkept, but...
Horses? Oh, sorry.
Oh, see? Wildlife. More wildlife. She loves horses.
Yeah.
One day, we're gonna get a horse. Let's manifest that, speak it into existence. But yeah, it's a lot cleaner here, a lot more well-maintained, which is really, really nice for such a big city. Wasn't expecting that.
It is cleaner than in Paris when I was there.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, see, I haven't been to Paris before, but I've heard Paris is pretty dirty.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't know. I guess.
There's like rats and stuff.
Oh yeah. See, I wouldn't know about that.
Too much about here, but it seems yeah, clean, nice.
Yeah. That sounds like New York to me. The rats and everything.
Yeah.
That's pretty normal out there, from what I understand. But yeah, closing thoughts about London. This is the analogy that I came up with. Okay. I see London as a European child who was raised by one American step-parent.